There's a question most people avoid their entire working life. If I got a 20% raise tomorrow, would my life actually change? Not your lifestyle, your life. Because here's what usually happens instead. You get the promotion, the salary bump, maybe even that dream offer in a different city. And 6 months later, you're still checking your bank account on the 25th of the month with the same quiet anxiety you had before. This isn't a story about budgeting apps or side hustles. This is about three conversations. Conversations you're either having with yourself right now or avoiding completely. And the difference between those two choices is the difference between financial control and financial noise for the next 5 years. Let's start with the one nobody wants to admit. Meet Sarah. She's 29, works in marketing in Austin, Texas. She makes $68,000 a year. Solid income. Not rich, but definitely comfortable, right? Let's do the math. After federal taxes, state taxes, and Social Security, she takes home about $51,000. That's $4,250 a month. Her rent for a one-bedroom apartment 20 minutes from downtown, $1,650. Car payment on a certified pre-owned SUV she bought 2 years ago, $420. Car insurance, $180. Student loan minimum payment, $340. Utilities, phone, internet, $220. We're at $2,810. She hasn't eaten yet. Groceries, maybe $400 if she's careful. Eating out twice a week, coffee runs, that's another $250. Gas, $160. We're now at $3,620. She has $630 left for everything else. Gym membership, streaming services, new work clothes, a friend's wedding gift, an oil change, one minor medical copay. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Sarah doesn't feel broke. She has money in her checking account most of the time. She's not overdrafting. She's doing what she's supposed to do. But she's also not building anything. No real savings, no investments, no room to breathe if her car breaks down or her company downsizes. The first conversation is this. Where does it actually go? Not in a judgmental way, not in a stop buying coffee way, but in a deeply honest, almost forensic way. Because most people can tell you their salary, very few can tell you their real monthly burn rate. And the gap between those two numbers is where financial stress lives. Now here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. Sarah isn't being irresponsible, she's being normal. She has the car because her job requires reliable transportation. She has the apartment because anything cheaper is either unsafe or 45 minutes away. She has the student loans because that's what you do to get a degree in America. This is the system working exactly as designed. You're taught to optimize for income, get the degree, get the job, get the raise, but nobody teaches you to optimize for cash flow, the actual distance between what comes in and what goes out. And there's a psychological trap hiding here: lifestyle calibration. When Sarah got her job 3 years ago, she was making $54,000. She moved into a nicer place. She upgraded her car because the old one felt beneath her new role. She started shopping at Whole Foods instead of Aldi. Not because she's materialistic, because her environment told her this is what people at her level do. And when she gets her next raise, let's say she jumps to $75,000, the same thing will happen. Nicer neighborhood, better car, a vacation she deserves. The income goes up, the expenses go up, the gap stays the same. This is why making more money doesn't fix financial stress. It just moves the stress into a higher tax bracket. Let's shift to Europe for a second. Tom is 32, lives in Manchester, works in tech. He makes £48,000 a year, about 61,000 USD. After taxes and national insurance, he takes home around £3,000 a month. Rent in a decent flat, £1,100. Council tax, £140. Transport pass, £90. Groceries and basics, £400. Phone, utilities, subscriptions, £150. We're at £1,880. He has £1,120 left. Tom feels better off than Sarah, and technically he is. He has a bit more breathing room. But here's what he's doing with that extra space. Nothing. It sits in his current account. He spends it on weekend trips, new trainers, rounds at the pub, a better phone every 18 months. He's not in debt, he's not struggling, but he's also not building. And this is the third conversation. What am I actually building with this money? Because money sitting in a checking account isn't neutral. It's slowly losing value to inflation. It's potential energy doing nothing. Most people don't fail financially because they're reckless. They fail because they're passive. They're waiting for the right time to start investing, waiting until they understand it better, waiting until they have enough saved. Meanwhile, the people who end up financially secure in their 40s, they weren't smarter. They just started the building process earlier, even if it was small, even if it was imperfect. They had the second conversation with themselves, and they acted on it. Let's run two scenarios. Both people are 28, both make $60,000 a year. Both have similar expenses. Person A saves nothing, just lives month to month, not struggling, just existing.
At 40, they have maybe $8,000 in savings, if they're lucky. Person B takes $300 a month, just $300, and puts it into a low-cost index fund. They don't time the market, they don't pick stocks, they just contribute automatically every month. At 40, assuming a historically average 7% annual return, they have around $58,000. At 50, over $150,000. At 60, close to $350,000. Same income, same lifestyle, one simple decision repeated quietly in the background. This isn't about becoming rich, it's about creating distance between you and financial fragility. Because the real cost isn't the $300, the real cost is not having the third conversation. This is the one most people never have, and it's the most important. Because financial freedom has been turned into a marketing phrase. It's yachts and passive income and quitting your job to travel the world. But for most people, financial freedom is much quieter. It's being able to say no to a job that's slowly killing you. It's not feeling dread when your car makes a weird noise. It's being able to help a family member without wrecking your own stability. It's sleeping through the night without running mental math on whether you can afford next month. The third conversation is this: what does financial freedom actually mean to me? Not to Instagram, not to your parents, not to the financial gurus, to you. Because once you define that, the decisions get easier, the distractions fall away. You stop comparing yourself to people on different paths. You start building your version of stable, and that version doesn't need to look like anyone else's. So here's where we are. The first conversation, where does it actually go? Get clear on the real numbers. The second conversation, what am I actually building? Move from passive to intentional. The third conversation, what does financial freedom mean to me? Define the destination so you're not just drifting. These aren't one-time conversations. They're ongoing. They evolve as your life evolves. But the people who have them regularly, honestly, are the ones who look back 5 years from now and realize they're in a completely different place. Not because they got lucky, not because they made 6 figures, because they stopped avoiding the conversations that mattered. If this shifted something for you, go ahead and subscribe. There's no hype here, just clarity. See you in the next one.